with Inner Fire. It's the fire from Lag Bomer. We had an awesome intro to everything going on right now. We're holding today Pesach Sheni. It's already been a really busy day for me personally. And thank God, I'm very excited to join you together right now in our studio in Yerushalayim, in Jerusalem, our holy city. We don't take it for granted. We're doing a little different view in the YouTube, a little bit more horizontal. We've got the vertical for the Facebook Live. We've got the audio for our Emuna as our future podcast. And thank God our studio is in function again this week. We haven't yet had the merit to go through the system. Please God, that will be coming soon. But we do have the merit to have a nice edited version coming out, hopefully by the end of the week, with our new staff member. The important point is that we have to be on fire this week. It's Lag BaOmer, Thursday night, Friday, exciting times. There's an energy in the world. You can feel it as we're going out of this Corona challenge. Things are opening up. It's Pesach Sheni today. That gives us the opportunity to begin again, the renewal, and to taste that freedom, that chayrus, that freedom from all these restrictions, and to have a hope for the future that things are going to be open, that we can be able to connect in person with people we love. We can go to events, to concerts, to hear beautiful shirim like we had last night with Rav Shalom Arush Shlita. This is his beautiful studio. We thank him. We thank all of you for giving us the opportunity to share these experiences together. And of course, with Diane Elgod, he translated beautifully. And of course, our special guest, Rav Moshe Weinberger Shlita. He was here in the studio just last night, and it was an Aish, it was a fire from Aish Kodesh. That's his shul. We could feel the inner fire from such special words of Emunah and Chizuk and connection to Tzaddikim and Chasidus. It's an honor to, thank God, have begun these beautiful Emuna classes together with you these last few years, and specifically the last 35 Emuna classes of Rav Arush, and to have got to the point where we're meritorious to have a sponsored class for Rav Moshe Weinberger to be able to come into our studio through Zoom. Obviously, having the musicians in person, having the guests in person, the speakers, and the energy, the fire in the studio, or even better, like we're praying for, to have those large shirim together where we're all, thank God, dancing together, holding hands and hearing the words of the righteous people in person. It's a whole nother level. But this is the beauty of what we've been learning all these weeks during this time. We've been learning about the inner light, the light of the soul, the united soul. This power is within us. And that's why I wrote in the notes, it's always important, take a look at the description. It says, join us live weekly. Yes, our Monday weekly class. We're just a few minutes late today. It's going to 3:30 generally. And that's me, Eli Goldsmith, United Souls. That's the energy, that's the brand, that's the focus over here. And we're talking right now during these special 7 weeks, these 49 days. Sefirat HaOmer is a great time to grow together with inner fire. That's today's class. Unity in passion. We have to really be passionate about life, about giving over Torah, about connecting, having all these podcasts, having these moments to build content together. It has to be with passion. When you go to your job, if you're half asleep, you're not going to be able to really make a difference. To make a difference, it has to be with passion. And when you go to a relationship experience, when you want to meet with your soulmate or you want to meet with your friends and family, you have to have passion. If you're like distracted, if you're not focused, as we've talked about in many of our Relationship Flow podcasts, and we put them out there. Relationship Flow podcast is, thank God, maybe we'll put it underneath as well at some point in the description. But over there, we're talking about focus. We're talking about intimacy. We're talking about experiencing real connection in our relationships to the point where we enter this eternal level of relationship. I already spoke about it just this Sunday, and we're taking it to the next level, please God, with this week of Lag BaOmer, where we get into the inner fire, the passion that exists. The experience should be filled with joy and power. It shouldn't be something where we're just like, going through or rote or grinding, but without the joy. Everything, like, thank God, on a weekly now I go out for a jog with my wife, but it should be with energy. We should appreciate that we're jogging through the streets of Jerusalem, even if right now there's a fire in the streets of Jerusalem in the not good way. There's been riots and stuff. We have to transform that fire into a fire for avodas Hashem, for lichtigkeit, for being inspired. That was the fire that came to Shimon Bar Yochai in the Heilige Zohar. The Zohar Kodesh is a light, and that was Reb Shimon's revelation. His merit should protect us, and we have the opportunity this year on Lag Bomer to go to the Hadlachas, wherever we are in the world, to be part of those fires of Reb Shimon. That the fire should be directed towards heaven, should be lifting us up. When you look at a flame, I remember reading all those years ago in university. I think I was even in a bathtub reading. I didn't know much about Judaism back then, and I was sitting there reading this book about Jewish meditation. I mentioned it in these classes, and I looked in this book and I saw this beautiful concept of the power of meditating on the flame, to be able to have the energy and the focus of just tuning into the fire that exists within the flame, that it burns, and the way we think of a flame, how there's the different parts of the flame, with the bluer part, which is the intense heat that's burning the wick, the goof, the physical aspect, and then transforming that oil or shemen, that wax, into a fire which goes heavenly, with the red and the yellow and the different colors. Each one has a different meaning, and you focus on the fact that this fire is all going upwards, because in the end everything has a source, everything has a root level. And that's one of the beautiful things I was talking about with my son-in-law this Shabbos on Parshas Kedoshim, Achrei Mos Kedoshim. We were talking about how there's a fire and how everything has a root level. Not only is there a fire for Avodas Hashem, but there's also a root level, how there's an experience that everything goes back to its source and everything is centered. That's Rabbi Nachman's special light, Rabbi Nachman Befega, Rabbi Nachman Ben Simcha. That's the kind of passion that the Tzaddikim, with Yiddishkeit, I was meritorious to be by Rav Simai Zilberberg, the energy, the fire he brought. Rav Moshe Weinberger, I remember years ago, used to quote him, and he'd say about the fire, and that was the whole beautiful thing I spoke about myself when I was with Rav Orish and Rav Weinberger in New York together, upon him, and they met each other. This was about 2 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, on our Emuna tour, 2018, I believe, and we went to the Shul of Eish Kodesh, and we had the opportunity to see Rav Orish and Rav Weinberger together. They walked around the shul and they met the community a little bit, some of the Rabbonim there. And one of the things I said over when they were looking at the beautiful this artwork that's in the entrance of the shul, and it's a symbolic of the fire of that went on in the Holocaust, and the Piasetza Rebbe and the Eish Kodesh that he represented, that fire that's igniting the whole community with passion for Judaism. And they were talking about this. So I said that Rav Orish is represented by Shalom. Shalom is his name, but it's also the Gan of Shalom. The whole idea of Emunah brings you to Shalom. I even had a call last night about Shalom bias, how important it is that we should, when we're serving Hashem, we should realize that serving Hashem is something, especially with Shalom bias, with how we talk. It's a big part of it, how we talk to Hashem, obviously Emunah, but how we talk to the soulmate, how we talk to all the loved ones in our life, that it should be words with Sata Dishmaya, with heavenly help, that inspire the relationship, not damage the relationship. That was one of the advices the Rav gave us yesterday to someone on the phone after our Emuna class, when our meetings, and you guys, once again, are welcome to bring those Emuna class, bring those meetings into your community, into your home, and to connect to the Rav directly. You have all the information how to do that. But anyway, we were in Eish Kodesh in the shul there in New York, and we were talking to Rav Orish, and Rav Orish is Shalom. Shalom is the aspect of Shin. It's the Shin of Eish. And what's the Aleph of Eish? That's Emes. The Emes is Moshe Weinberger. He's someone who gives over truth. His name is Moshe Emes Utzrosa Emes. And that was the idea that Moshe and Rav Moshe and Rav Shalom brings together Eish, the Aleph and the Shin, the Emes and the Shalom. It's a beautiful concept from the Shlach Kodesh. That's who says this concept, this Rosh Tevis. The Emes and Shalom is Eish, is fire. And that's when you see the fire on Lag Bomer, you should realize you're experiencing this Eish, this combination of Emes, of truth, and peace. This is the real hippie movement, that people had love and peace, but they missed out the truth. They missed out the true connection. And I appreciate all the positive energy I'm getting from our friends there on Facebook Live. And I'd like to hear a little bit more from my YouTube friends. You have to just tell me how it's going. If you're able to hear me, and the horizontal vibe is a good energy for you, to make the viewing a bit more easier. But the point is that when you understand, that when you're experiencing life with passion and it makes sense, it's in tune, it's aligned with your goals and your dreams and what you're passionate about, what you care about, who you love, what you're focused on. Thank you for saying something on YouTube. Appreciate it. Once again, all you guys, this is something we're communally experiencing. This is not something just for me to sit here and say some Torah. I'm happy to do that every day. But at least once a week, we have the opportunity to join together and experience some of the love, some of the focus, some of the passion, some of the fire. This is the opportunity, and it truly is a real merit. And I appreciate, once again, you guys partnering. I've seen, thank God, these last many months, many partners in our Emuna is our future tour, thank God, online. And it really is appreciated. The link's always below. You can just press on it. There's where to donate. There's where to get the Svarim. There's where to reach out direct. You can join our WhatsApp group. This is aligning with what we're doing here. So the Emuna class, the Emuna content is something that goes global. And that's the hope, that the fire, the Eishali of Rabbi Nachman, the Eish, the passion of the Tzaddikim should go out to the world and ignite the world. Because all we're hearing right now on the media is all the, God forbid, is all the problems, is all the pain, all the sorrow, all the loneliness, all the dysfunction, and how the technology world looks more and more like it's going to take over and take away that passion, that fire of the soul, that soulful way of experiencing life. It wants to reduce that. And our job, obviously, is to not allow that to take place. And how do we do that? Individually, each one of us can light ourselves up, and then once we're a light, we have the power to light up another person. And that's the idea of Lag Bomer. We see that fire, how all the souls come at that moment of the Adlacha, when the Tzaddikim light up those fires around the world, and the world has an experience of light, has an experience. It's like when you're looking from these space stations and rockets that are going up into the sky, and they're looking down and they see the cities at nighttime, and they see how lit up they are from the electric lights. It's even more so on the spiritual level when you look down to the world on Lag Bomer this Thursday night, and you see the light that's pouring out from the world due to the fire of Shimon, that we're turning darkness into light. That was his purpose. That was the key to understand that creation, the whole of this world, was made just for us to transform darkness to light. So we're transforming pain to joy. We're transforming all our suffering to fulfillment, to understand that there's a purpose to everything that we're going through, and that the panemius, the inner level of Torah, the inner aspects, the soulful level of Torah, is communicating to us clarity and warmth and love and connection. That's Rabbi Shimon's light. As we heard from Moshe Weinberg, his beautiful stories. You go to Shirim and Wayu Torah, you see over there beautiful shirim and stories, especially around Lag Bomer, of the love that Ahava Hashem's pouring onto the world. There's a tremendous revelation of love, Hod Shebahod, Kodesh Kadoshim. We're going into the inner levels, the inner sanctums, into the inner holy of holies, inside the soul level, and that's the way Rav Shimon is taking us as a people, as a humanity. Even the whole world now is connected into this. People can watch it. I mean, one of the most, for me, powerful moments for the Jewish year, the Jewish calendar, and for the world is when there's moments of Adlacha, and you can watch them. You can watch it in Meron. You can watch the Tzaddikim light, the Tolsav Mitzvah Rebbe, Tolsan Rebbe, Shalom Orish. Obviously, you can watch him light in Rabbi Rashbi, and last year he was able to make it with a few meritorious people who were there. And then you have the Biana Rebbe, and you have all the different tzaddikim that go and light, and then all the different chotzeris, all the different courtyards around the world. They light in their own courtyards in Bresov Mesharim, everywhere. Bells and Satmar and Chabad is doing all the mitzvah vans, mitzvah mobiles, and bringing the light of the Rebbe and their Torah to the whole world, and literally with all the shlichim. And thank God, each person in their own situation, according to their situation, whether they're Jewish or not, everyone has the power to connect to the inner light of Torah nowadays. It's available. And the fact that we're talking about it here it should resonate with you that this is happening. It's not just maybes and theories. This is reality that Hashem's given even me. The fact that I even know any of this concepts. Shalom from Ireland. Wow. The fact that I even know any of this. I grew up like secular. I grew up unaware. I didn't even know what Lag Bomer was. I didn't know Reb Shimon. I didn't even know what the Talmud was. I didn't know the Zohar for sure not. Kabbalah, people hear about a little bit thanks to a few famous people who made it famous. But whether they learn it or not, it's something else. Mysticism, people think of the East or something, but to know that in the Torah there's such a light that can transform the whole world of darkness into light. There's such a power that Reb Shimon showed that you can save the whole world from judgment just by connecting to these inner aspects, by connecting to the Pnimis of Torah, to understand that Hashem's love is so deep and so profound and so forgiving. Especially also when you go into this week's Parshas Emor, and you see that in Zman, in time, there's so much light. There's all these different festivals that light us up, and there's different kinds of people. There's Kohanim. I didn't even know that how important it was to be a Kohen, and I'm a Kohen. Hashem gave me that opportunity that I was born a Kohen, a priest of the Jewish people and hopefully of the world. And that's something which I have to live up to on my level, that there's a certain responsibility and to bless everyone with love, everyone on a daily level, as a descendant from Aaron Cohen. This is a real thing. This is not, like people, there's all this fake media people talk about. This is real media. This is real truth. This is based on Messiah, a tradition that goes all the way back to Aaron Cohen. I'm a descendant from Aaron Cohen, who was the brother of Moshe Rabbeinu, who both were together there at Kabbalah Torah, which we're preparing for now. This is not something Bobermeisters, as they say. This is not some old stories. This is real. And it's happening all the way that someone who didn't even know that he was part of this wonderful legacy is now, thank God, had the merit to sit with Rav Orish or Moshe Weinberg, to sit with Daniel, to sit with these choshes, special people. And next week, please God, Charlie Harary is going to come with his tremendous energy and give us that guiding force, how to go into business, how to be Makadish the world, Shem Shemayim, Yesod, Sadik, you'd be able to make this world, hello from New York, to get this world to a place on our daily level where you have a more expanded mindset. He's very much into plasticity. I don't even know how to say it myself, but the idea of getting your mind into a more flexible, elevated way of thinking, so that when you go into business, you go into relationships, you're able to experience, like he has a Pursuit of Happiness podcast. We're going to go into that next week, hopefully, a little bit with Charlie. And we're going to have Yosef Daniel. Thank God, after Lag Bomer, there's already a massive sweetening of the judgment. We're no longer according to most Minhagim, we're no longer in the morning part. And the music, for some Hasidim, yes, the Fida Arizal, it's the whole 49 days. Okay, so the Arizal was a holy person, and many Hasidim hold that. They don't do the haircut still, and me personally, that's been my custom since I had the merit to connect to Hasidus more than, 20 years ago or something. I've been trying to keep the 49 days without music and not to cut the hair, etc. But for most of the Jewish people, it's 33 days. It's like Bomer. There's a hamtaka, there's a sweetening. The weddings begin, the music begins. People can have haircuts. People can take care of themselves. And the mourning period, because what happened was Reb Shimon basically he represents that continuation from Rabbi Akiva, his Rebbe. Rabbi Akiva was able to bring the whole oral Torah, the Torah Shabbat Peh, the passion and the love he had. After Torah, as he taught, that you have to have love between each other. It's not just some intellectual thing. It's you have to feel the love for another Yid. Like the Rav Moshe Weinberg once has a beautiful story said over on Lag Bomer, how the Avos Yisrael, this holy vicious Rebbe, who used to go up to the most stinking Yid, the Yid that smelt the worst, the person that was the most far away, the person that no one wanted to be around, and he'd go up and say, noch a shtek Yid, another Yid, and he'd kiss that person, and he'd kiss his begodim, his clothing, and give him love, and say, a Yid is a Jew, it's a light, it's a licht. Every Jew's a licht, a light to the world, a light unto the nations. That's our job. We're not here to sit and moan and get pulled down into the sadness of the world. We're here to light up the world. Just think of Rabbi Nachman. When you think of Rabbi Nachman, you don't think of someone half asleep or you think of a fire. You think of Reb Shimon, you think of an even bigger fire. You think of Moshe Rabbeinu, you think of like light and taking like the Or Kitov, this hidden light, just shining outwards. That's when you think of these righteous people, and that's within each of every one of us. That was with Shimon's message to the world. That was with Nachman's message, as Amalekah Ba'odi, that everyone has a divine spark, and that divine spark is filled with goodness, and every single relationship you have, every single person is filled with that inner light. And for sure you have to face your issues and deal with life, but that's the beauty of transforming darkness into light. That is the purpose when you're dealing with life. It's not a punishment. It's not all this negative way of thinking about life. It's an opportunity. It's a challenge. It's not a, God forbid, a crazy epidemic, the way it's been made out to be so much more negative than it is. It's an opportunity this whole time that we've had. And thank God this week is our first live show that I've been blessed to book for Nissan Black in Tzvat, overlooking Miron. I mentioned it in my Unity Flow podcast. An opportunity to see Nissan Black live in Tzvat, the full hour concert, to hear some of his new tracks with a DJ, and hopefully bring his family and have beautiful Shabbos in Tzvat. I had the merit to book this with the Chabad friends over there, and it's an opportunity to bring a music and energy back into the world in person, so people can sing, people rejoice, people can experience the soul level together. There's such a unifying experience of singing music together. And that's what we can do this like Bomer Hashem. That's the kind of energy that's coming into the world, and we can bring it into our Torah, we can bring it into our life. Wherever we are in the world, everyone, thank God, now we're all interconnected. This is the beauty of the internet, using it on an even higher level now after being in a situation where we had to work out our content, we had to be more inner, we had to be more at home, we had to be more, in terms of with our loved ones, our closer loved ones. We had to develop and strengthen our relationships in front of us. We couldn't fly off as much. We couldn't travel. Me personally, I haven't left the country for over a year and a half now, and I'm missing my family so much. But we have the opportunity, even in such a situation, to take all that time. Personally, I wrote a book, United Souls, to use that time to develop ourselves and then bring that message now back out when we go back more into the world again, to bring that renewal, that energy, and that's Pesach Sheni. This whole week of Hod is just a whole new level of development, of heart, of shining from that humility that we've had, of the situation we're in, the challenges we've had. It causes us to shine like an olive. The more you squeeze it, the more the oil comes out, and the more you can light up the world. You can pour that oil onto the fires of Lag Bomer and make a bigger fire. And this is the kind of energy that we have to bring into our life. We have to be passionate. We have to feel warmed up by the connection, the love. I feel like Hashem's hugging us this year. Feel the warmth. Allow ourselves to open our hearts, to let go a little bit. As it says in the Chabad sign, to be bit a little bit more, to have a more connection to Hashem and less ego, more connection to love and less, God forbid, hatred, more connection to truth and less connection to this lying world around us that's trying to fool us into or put us to sleep. I don't know what. We have to wake up. We have to be alive. So that's the class today for Lag BaOmer, for the Eish, this inner fire that's within, and it's for the whole year. Hanukkah is coming up again every year. It gives us that renewal of the connection to that light, that hidden light, and also every Shabbos when we light the Shabbos candles, and all the time, every Yotzai we light candles, and every time we see fire, we should remind ourselves that we have this passion, we have this flame, we have a soul that's flickering. And that's why people shake when they're praying. They shake back and forth, and there's like a fire. It's like a flame. You're inspired. Unity inspires. It should inspire you how unified we truly are and how divine we all are made. And that's the kind of energy. That's where Shimon, he came out the cave and he saw the Jew on Shabbos with his Shoma V'Zocha, the Hadassim, and he said, Shoma V'Zocha, these are each one's for my two different aspects of Shabbos. Eventually that we have to understand that we're in the time right now where we're going to see the Yom Shekula Shabbos. It's going to be always Shabbos. And it's going to become a whole different level of world. The whole world's going to go up. It's going to be elevated. And a lot of the pain and all this doom and gloom mindset is going to be switched around. There was nothing to worry about. All the potential wars and famine that people were worrying about, we didn't have to worry because God is kind And God does everything for the good. Hashem does everything for the good. And therefore, everything in history was just leading us towards the Yemosa Mashiach, the Yom Shekuli Shabbos, the time when we're in Shabbat, and we have a base of English, and light is in the world, and Das is in the world. People have true knowledge and the kind of connection. This is what we're praying for on a daily level. And Lag BaOmer is an opportunity to pray for this ultimate future, for that we can be part of it, and that we can bring that light before it comes, before that ultimate future comes. Bring that into the world now. Bring that energy, that passion, the Oyer Shel Mashiach, the light of the Messiah, to bring that light into the world now. That it should not, God forbid, create division. It should only create unification. It should only create clarity of thought. It should only create love and relationships that are positive and uplifted. It should give us shalom bayis. It should give us chinuch, the light of the Tzaddikim, the light of Reb Shimon, and the light of Mashiach, and the light of our own souls should just inspire us to live happy, Emuna-filled lives where we can talk to God with clarity and truth. We can experience everything we're doing with clarity and love and oneness. That's the kind of energy when we're making a blessing on food. That's the kind of energy when we go after this year and back into our daily life. Realize that it can be inspired and with inner fire. That fire can never be extinguished. It's impossible, the soul level, to ever be put out. The Nazis and Machshmam, they saw in the Holocaust the fire of the Jewish soul and the fire of the soul of humanity, that can never be extinguished as much as they tried. And there's so many stories that prove that. We have to believe in that. We have to live it. We have to make it real, bring it into reality, bring that Kesser, that Panemius level into our daily life, bring that inner level into our daily life, inner Torah into our life, and to realize that we have a soulful, eternal connection that's inspired, and it goes to the holiest of place, and it brings back out into our life, into our world, into our relationships, into everything we're doing. And we should all be blessed with that, with everything we need, with our income, with peace of mind, happiness, with joy. And I'm looking forward, please God, after Lag BaOmer, to join us again in a new world, a world of simcha and joy, please God, as we get ready for Charlie Harary and Yosef Daniel, and please God, another Emuna class, and we keep sharing our content here. Thank you. Please share this. Bring Emuna Global, bring the light of Reb Shimon to the world. Amen, amen. And I can't wait to see you again with a renewed spirit and an inner fire. Thank you.